flame, and then you hit him with, however you pronounce it, conflagrate? I don't know, I've never had to pronounce that word out loud before. Conflagrate.
Alright, guys, I fixed it.
Alright, cool. You hit him with E. Is that his E? I actually don't know.
I know. I'm going to intro the teams, though, while they're running up to the top. I'm going to intro the left side. This is an in-house game of the DominateDominion.com chat channel. It's Dominate Dominion on North America server. That's the name of the chat channel, Dominate Dominion. There's no space between the two words. We got on the left side, on the blue team, we got RC9 as Rengar, TempestEP as Brand, DevlJoe playing as Alistar, Fancy Wolf playing as Nidalee, Metalfenrir playing as Diana. I'm one half the casters for the in-house. I'm Gandair. Who's my other caster, and who's on that other team?
I am Yes Maam Kablam. Host of the Domination 500 show, casting for the very first time. What's up?
Genolicous Airborne, that's what was up. He was literally up for a moment there. A little bit of poke going back and forth. The Amumu getting intercepted by RC9 down there in the bottom. And Genolicous just capping.
Yeah, Red team is really taking advantage of their superior poke. They're getting zoned pretty hard by Urgot and Soraka. And, you know, Rengar goes all in, and he's probably going to pay for it because Red team just has much stronger poke, or I could be wrong.
Hey, Nidalee Pokeman, not to be underestimated. Kirllian getting a little bit lower and lower. molokodude trying to cap that tower right there. So Ram with that AoE damage. Ignite on Amumu. Rengar takes him down. And get out, Urgot. You're not allowed.
Yeah, it looks like blue team has the advantage right here, but red team has enough time because they capped enough of the points that they can revive and get back there and take advantage of blue team being on really low life. So Lee Sin and Amumu might be able to clean up and then capture the windmill while blue team's busy reviving and running back to the point.
Genolicous was able to pick up that quick kill, and he's able to help Amumu get that kill on Nidalee as well. Now they're chasing TempestEP away. There's a mid-trap there, picks up a little bit of damage on molokodude's Amumu, and now he's got to fight with Rengar. Rengar's pretty scary. There goes the dive from Lee Sin going in, and Alistar kicks Kirllian towards RC9. I'm not sure how I feel about that, DevlJoe. And now it's one cow against all odds.
Yeah, and you can see Amumu and Urgot just zoning out that Alistar. Nidalee has to help him out, otherwise Alistar's dead. And Genolicous on Lee Sin is going to pick up the point while blue team's zoned out.
I think Nidalee could have gone for the spear there on Lee Sin, but instead she opted to go help DevlJoe instead. She could have got just out of line of sight. Oh, Genolicous, you did not want to go there. Gets kicked back towards the enemy team by DevlJoe. So Genolicous was in a world of hurt right there, but safety mode, able to back on out of there. Soraka helped him out a little bit. Fancy Wolf, a little too close for comfort right there. All of blue team getting lower and lower. Spear does not connect with molokodude. And Fancy Wolf getting chipped down. There's some of that shred you were talking about. That Star Call just keeps landing. And Fancy Wolf, now that MR getting reduced even more, going to get killed right there. Yes! But Soraka goes down to the exchange.
Yeah, as you can see, like, the longer and longer a fight goes on, the more of an advantage that red team has, because, you know, they have just so much shred on this team. Urgot provides armor shred, Amumu and Soraka providing magic shred. There's really not much way to defend this against this team, other than Rengar and Nidalee and Brand going in and bursting somebody immediately, but they're up against 4 very tanky characters, so this is it's gonna be hard for them to win full-on 4v4 fights. They gotta look for picks, look for people out of position, and then force disadvantageous fights for red team.
And even Nidalee's poke is a little bit mitigated by Soraka being there because she does have that heal and she's able to make them a little bit resistant to that. The traps are still going to come into play. The poke is still not to be trifled with, as Genolicous is now quite aware, taking that last one, chipping down his health right there, even though he did have the Storm Shield. Got Soraka up here. We see Alistar as well. Are they going to go for a dive? We'll see how it plays out.
I don't think so. This early in the game, it's very difficult to go for a 3v2 dive, or now 3v3 because Urgot showed up. So they will successfully defend this point because with the amount of poke that Urgot and Soraka can provide together, and now Amumu's here too, and oh god, if they're going to go all in, this could be disastrous for blue team.
Little snare there on Enthusiastically. Soraka is delicious bait. Her HP is a lie. You'll jump on her and try and kill her. Then suddenly, she won't be dead, and everything you have will be on cooldown. And all of her teammates will be very up. Oh dear!
Or he could just face block the spear with his face.
Guys, I'm a liar.
He was blocking that for Lee Sin, promise.
That's right,
Lee Sin is just a much better character.
Best support.
Yeah. He meant to do that, yes.
Oh, Kirllian gets stunned. Nice pyroclasm goes off.
And that was a beautiful AoE combo by Brand. And even though the Garrison goes down, they won't be able to defend this. Just too much damage. Offensive Garrison goes down too, and Blue is going to reclaim the windmill.
And they get the neutral off. Kick Enthusiastically back a little bit. They're going to stay behind with some minutes to cap that. They're going to turn around, get that quest objective right there.
Oh, was that the quest? It was.
Yes,
Wow.
it was.
I wasn't even paying attention.
So you have that little damage boost. They're eating a little bit of it on the recall right now. Nidalee's still out. Nope, Nidalee in a recall. So they're going to eat a lot of that buff time during the recall. It's not going to get a push quite off of it. It's going to tick down quite a bit before they get back up here. So they're not going to have a lot of time to really make use of that buff. Enthusiastically trying to move the minion wave up, doing an okay job of that. We got RC9 waiting in the wings right here, and there he goes! Puts out a little damage right there, but is he going to kite them down?
Rengar is primarily physical damage, and that Soraka heal is going to mitigate a lot of it with the armor boost.
Tries to stealth on out of there, retreats back towards the team. Good job trying to kite them towards, or away rather, from the point, but they didn't buy it. They decided to stay there instead. No, that spear on kirllian right there. So much damage, taking him down by half of his health.
Oh yeah, and molokodude eats another spear. I mean, if they keep if they keep lumping up like this in a critical spot, Fancy Wolf Nidalee can just toss a spear wherever he wants. He's gonna hit somebody. And that's really not what you want, because Nidalee... Oh, wow.
Another very unfortunate spear for Soraka. Amumu gets kicked out, so that AoE damage is going nowhere, unfortunately, for a couple moments. Nice Pyroclasm on top of that. Spear lands on Genolicous. He's getting taken down. Are they going to be able to live through this? Can Nidalee clean it up? Get the Windex? Yes! Nidalee's strong, man.
You know, Nidalee's spear just got replaced with a mop right there, just wiping them up. And, I mean, you saw there, like, Brand's AoE damage is just so... It's so much, and you have to be able to respect that, because that Confregate bounces just like Pyroclasm, too. So even if Pyroclasm is down, you have to be able... If everyone gets caught in Pillar of Flame, you know, he's still got his mini ult, as I like to call it. And that's going to create a lot of damage, and then, you know, you're just one Nidalee spear away from someone getting picked off, and then all of a sudden it's 3v4, and you're in a bad spot. But it looks like kirllian on Urgot is going to try to make a play on Diana, who is giving Shadow of Time on Maokai a really hard time.
And Maokai is staying alive for a little while. Got that heal going on there and is able to sustain through it. Maokai, not to be trifled with. Going to hold up top from Amumu, locking DevlJoe and TempestEP in place. Get some extra damage in on them. Genolicous doesn't really have anywhere to go, unfortunately. Enthusiastically going back there. Brand throws the skill shot, but doesn't connect. And through the wall, Lee Sin's going to dive in, and Nidalee's going to pick up the kill. Good, solid defense up there.
Indeed, and you know, I think I kind of like this Maokai pick against Diana, because Maokai's a pretty tanky character, and Diana kind of needs to cast a lot of spells to get all her damage out, and Maokai's passive obviously scales the more spells you cast, so he is a little more resilient than most would be against Diana.
And Nidalee's going for a very heavy AP opener. You see, look at those items right down there.
Oh, double blast.
Pen, Prospector's Ring, and 2 Blasting Wands. Now, those Blasting Wands are going to get turned into something later on. However, if you forego upgrading the item and just buy some of the requisite components, you get this interesting spike in your AP that you're going to have for a little while in the early to mid game, which is exactly the point of the game we're in right now. But Fancy Wolf gets caught, the bandage toss. That's on that.
Yeah, a heavy AP Nidalee's weakness is that if she gets caught with her pants down, she's dead. Especially, you know, with a very sticky tank like Amumu.
She was a cat form. Cat form doesn't wear pants.
Get caught with, I don't know. There is no record.
We got nothing on that. DevlJoe getting chased away. TempestEP having to retreat also. Oh, that position swap. No.
Oh,
can't do it.
I did not know you could swap them like that. And they are pushing really hard for this midpoint, even putting down the offensive Garrison. I think that was a little bit of a waste there, a bit of a misplay.
Looks like they were going for the dive, but then deciding against that last moment. Molokodude not gonna... His health a little bit too low. I don't think that would have been a good dive. They're gonna turn around and go for the top instead. They got creeps up there. They're gonna seize that opportunity instead. And, oh, nope, it's gonna get interrupted right there. TempestEP, your health is so low. Fancy Wolf, oh, there goes Soraka once again.
Oh, I think this is gonna be another job for French Nidalee, even though he's not using that skin. Pretty appropriate for cleaning up teams like this.
See, DevlJoe's got his own heal, and Nidalee's at his disposal, so that's going to keep him alive a little bit longer than normal. See his health spike down, then back up, and oh, that minion, safety minion right there, keeping kirllian from taking tons and tons of damage.
And Fancy Wolf on Nidalee, he's going to keep prowling around, looking for someone he can just tack a random spear onto, because, you know, that's one thing you can do with Nidalee, is just kind of hide in the shadows and just toss Q and hope you get some big damage, and if you don't, whatever, just throw the next one.
Yeah,
you're bound to get lucky eventually, and it's a big advantage when you do.
Nothing is more awesome than taking someone from half hit points to dead. And oh, kirllian's been so many narrow misses up here in this top lane so far. Brand goes for the stun, doesn't quite get it, unfortunately. Soraka up here as well, but Soraka is deathly allergic to Brand and Nidalee, so I'm a little worried. Ooh, Genolicous taking the damage, but molokodude not connecting with that banish toss. DevlJoe coming in from the back. No, not quite going to go for Soraka right there. She's going to take a spear, take a little bit of hurt, but I think she's going to be okay. It's still very much in the poke phase.
It is, and I'm looking at Soraka's build right now, and she's gone with Rylai's, which I think is it's a tanky AP item, but I don't like it as a first build on Soraka because she really needs a penetration item like Haunting Guise. There's no reason not to go Haunting Guise first. Ooh, yeah. Wow, and she really needs to pick up an Abyssal Scepter if she wants to do something about those spears, because every time she gets hit for half health, that's a real big problem, because if she can't provide the magic shred, then she's not really doing her team any favors.
Metalfenrir in the bottom lane was able to take down Maokai, and Genolicous, whoa, that's Safeguard, keeping him alive just a little bit longer, but Brand whips his Pyroclasm back and forth, right there, doing tons of damage. Kirllian getting airborne, DevlJoe keeping him back, protecting TempestEP, enabling TempestEP to put out the hurt, gets a nice double kill right there, that Pillar Flame finishing off Urgot, and he takes down the Amumu to boot. Can he put down Enthusiastically on top of that? Get the quadra,
wow,
Tempest.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get that. Or Nidalee can sweep it up once more. And you saw there, that was Blue actually winning a 3v4 encounter off the point, which is very impressive, which is just a testament to how respectable Brand's AoE damage is. You know, if he catches you all in the Pillar of Flame, he's got the mini ult, he's got the real ult, and say goodbye to everyone's health, because that is a lot of damage. So that was a really good play by Blue Team, or actually it's more of a misplay by Red Team, not really respecting Brand's AoE damage, as Rengar chases down Amumu pretty far, but it looks like Fancy Wolf is here to back him up.
And RC9 diving a little bit too far, I think, but he did a very good job at keeping molokodude away from being able to do anything at all, which keeps their tank down for a little while. Should give them time, I think, for Brand to get back, because without Amumu, it's going to be really uncomfortable if they decide to go for an engagement up at the top without him. So I think that bought them quite a bit of time. They did trade RC9, though, but they're going to get Brand back.
Indeed, and if you notice, the Blue Team was about 10 points behind, so they were able to afford to make a kind of trade like that because their respawn timers are shorter. So you can afford to go a little more aggressive, a little more risky when you're behind, because if you mess up and you trade 1 for 1, well, that's actually an advantage for you in the next 4 seconds. And it looks like Red's just going to very slowly siege this point. They're waiting on Amumu to show up, because without Amumu, Red Team has very weak initiation. But, oh, they're going to poke down that Brand and try to remove him from the fight.
They wait too long, though, for Amumu to initiate. Bad things are going to happen to their Soraka. And I don't like Soraka, so I'm not terribly sad to see her get defeated right there. And, oh, that swap putting kirllian on the opposite of the fight, trying to close to TempestEP maybe, but it's just, ooh, the lockdown isn't going to be enough damage from Amumu. No, TempestEP is going to escape. Spear doesn't connect, unfortunately. And Blue Team's getting lower and lower and lower, and 2 seconds away from disaster, and lots of people go down, but DevlJoe is in control.
And, I mean, once again, TempestEP, if you were watching him during that fight, all those conflagration procs were insane. And it looks to me right now that Red Team really needs to be focusing on not big 4v4 fights, because they are getting blown up by that Pyroclasm and by that conflagration. So they really need to figure out a way to split this into smaller fights. Just because you can't win the 4v4, which Red Team has been consistently losing now, you can still win a 3v3, or you can still win a 2v2, which might be more suited to Red Team. You know, if they can get Amumu and Soraka, get a prolonged fight with all the MR shred, they might be able to make something happen and then create a play out of that, rather than trying to force these big fights.
And kirllian getting chased around by Fancy Wolf and TempestEP. TempestEP gonna cut him off, maybe? Oh, the spear doesn't connect, unfortunately. Shadow of Time is back. The wish goes off from Soraka as well down here. And only you can prevent forest fires. Shadow of Time, who his rune page has got to be called Breath of the Living. Pushing up on that tower right there. It's 3-on-2 down the bottom lane. Defensive Garrison goes down. kirllian gets taken out. And there's the forest fire in effect. Maokai getting taken down. Brand's going to recall. Lee Sin's on its way down. Soraka's on her way down. They're going to get the neutral, but are they going to be able to get the full cap? I'm not so sure.
Oh, they might with the creeps. Or nope, they barely stop it. And, you know, as I was talking about that, it was kind of funny. You know, Urgot getting caught out actually worked out to their advantage. They ended up taking the win. Okay, no, it didn't work out to their advantage at all because they're going to lose this bottom quest point.
And you were right about the minions.
I was right about the minions. So, that, you know, losing your quest point is instant 20 off of your Nexus health, which is a lot. You know, that damage buff doesn't last very long. So I really like to say that the minus 20 to your health is really the bigger deal. And, you know, Red Team is having a lot of trouble taking this bottom point back. You know, they just walked in, feeding them one by one, 3 deaths in a row. And now they're going to take the windmill, and that's a 4 cap. And now Red Team is in a really bad position right now.
And that combination of Nidalee and Diana, or Nidalee and Brand, or Nidalee and anything with a root in the game has been spelling disaster for people so far. And oh, Soraka, I'm sad for you.
Oh, that wasn't so bad. Only 1/3 health.
Only one. It's not a half. It's not a half. It doesn't count. But Soraka's just been taking those spears all game long, unfortunately. Genolicous hasn't been getting the stick too good either, though.
Red team's
yeah, and well, at least they've managed to reset the situation 2-3, so they can kind of they can go back to playing, you know, a more honest game of fight over the windmill if they so choose. But I don't think that would really be in Red Team's advantage because Brand is really just he's really just he's dominating these team fights and letting the rest of his team with their excellent single target damage clean up.
Metalfenrir is making him ride the train in the bottom lane. His Diana is just out of control down there. It shows no signs of being stopped.
And what do we have for items on Diana versus items on Maokai? Maokai, interestingly enough, has only gone for 1 MR item and opted for Frozen Fist instead of a more traditional Odin Fail.
Metalfenrir, I'm scared. I don't know if I like this decision that you just made. You were doing so well, man.
Oh, he got real greedy. But you know what? It's not going to matter because they're 4 caps. And they can afford to have a bad fight because what's the worst that's going to happen is that they're going to retake bottom, which they're doing right now. But it's still going to be a 3 against 2 situation. And look, no one's defending red midpoint, so that's going to get decapped. And they can still afford to fight at the windmill. So that still worked out in Blue Team's advantage very, very well.
RC9 destroyed Soraka up the top. Nice defensive Garrison, interrupted cap from a distance there. And they are going to clean that up. They got a neutral off on the drill while it was going on, but I think they could have held on to that bottom lane if Fenrir had just kind of hung around down there. They could have played the poke game, but he decided to come up and try and bail out his teammates, and he's not a big enough stimulus to keep that from happening.
This was not Obama's stimulus package, unfortunately. Far under what they needed. But yeah, I mean, it was a mistake on Metalfenrir's part, but it was a mistake he could afford to make. You know, when you're up by 200 points, and the worst that happens, you get reset to 3-2, you're allowed to flex a little bit if you want to.
It was a safer gamble for sure. Oh, safeguard out. Genolicous, good job. Did not eat that airborne. Did eat that spear, but he had the safeguard up still. Took a lot less damage from that than he could have. RC9, uh-oh, he's got the stealth going on. He's going to go in for Soraka. We'll find out if he's going to peel her off in the back of this fight. He does. Goes straight for Soraka. Takes her out immediately.
Oh, and you can see Red Team's lumping up again, and I predict very bad things are in Red Team's near future.
Metalfenrir wants to be a top lane character.
Oh, wow. Yes, Metalfenrir, they pulled their goalie just to secure that fight. And, you know, Shadow of Time on Maokai, he's reacting, but not quite fast enough. If
he's kind of slow.
He can only shamble
he needs
along.
to make like a tree and get the heck out of here because Metalfenrir is coming down and he's going to connect with that. Gets the Luna Rush in, pulls him back, hitting him with the damage. Gets him with the Odins, and he gets a free trip back to the Summoner platform.
Yeah, you know, with that Blackfire Torch and Void Staff on Diana, there's just no defending against her at this point. Red Team they're pretty much doomed right now. 20 points with their bottom about to get capped. This might be checkmate.
It's entirely possible. This is definitely a mate and 2 move situation, I think. Urgot's going to come down here and try and interrupt, but all they got to do is delay up at the top for a while. And I don't even know if Kirllian can get out of this. Shadow Time's going to be here to help out. If he can root him away, maybe, Kirllian's going to be able to get in the hurt, and that's exactly what happened. Good job, but I think it's going to come a little too late.
Yeah, day late, dollar short. It was pretty much decided once, you know, Maokai lost to Diana right there. They just didn't have enough time to even neutralize and get a 2-on-2 situation.
And looks like that means our blue team is going to take the victory. RC9, TempestEP, DevlJoe, Fancy Wolf, and Metalfenrir are going to win that game. Metalfenrir with some very intense bottom lane play.